Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends Gamerverse Marvel vs. Capcom Shuma-Gorath. I mean Gargantos. And this is an interesting release. It's not using many of the same parts as most Marvel Legends use, so there's that. But there's kind of a lot to talk about, but I don't think it'll take a long time, so we'll see. But we're going to go ahead and give it a review, even though it's not like a real action figure in a lot of ways. There's some stuff to talk about, so let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. Okay, before we look at the figure, I do want to show you my package. No window on this package, just artwork, which makes the figure look way less good. Never a good idea. Never a good idea. The side, I guess, is fine. You see the little ball there. And on the back, they basically did the same thing they did with Juggernaut. And scaling is not their strong suit. I mean, I guess it's possible that it's just really clever photography, but to me, this looks like it's way scaled down, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I mean, I guess it's technically possible to achieve this pose, probably. I mean, this pose to make him look this size, because he's only a little bit taller than Samurai there, so that's interesting. But there's the box. Like I said, no window, so I'm guessing most of you aren't going to care about it. But here's the figure, and it's a weird one. It is in stock at Big Bad Toy Store. If you want to get one, I'll put a link in the description below. His height, obviously, would be a lot longer if I just stretched out his tentacles all the way. I'm not going to do that because that doesn't really serve a purpose. If you're going to have him standing, and this is kind of a taller pose, this is going to be as close as this is how I'm measuring it. If you don't like it, well, measure yours a different way, I guess. I don't know how to set a height for this guy. To the top of his eye, it's about 19 centimeters. To the top of his tentacle in this pose, it's like 24, 25. Again, it's widely variable. So we'll say to the top of the eye here about 7.5, and then maybe 10 inches, just to give you an idea. Here's Darwin. So for scale purposes, Darwin's a pretty run-of-the-mill size Marvel Legends figure, has been for a long time. He's humongous. He's gigantic. He's gargantuan, even. And so that's one of the things I want to talk about. Let's do a question of the day. I know a lot of you are buying the MvC figures just because of the game, and this is clearly not the game version of the character. It's clearly the comic version. So it is fair for me to take issue with the size. It's in a Gamerverse package. It has the artwork. It's part of that line. It is not even close to the right size. He's like human size. When he's all like standing in the pose they posed him in, he should be about this size. A little bit taller, maybe. He's like 3 times as big as he should be. He's humongous. And in the comics, that's fine. Like, it matches the comics well enough. So if you're going for that, that's good for you. But if you're going for Marvel vs. Capcom Shuma-Gorath, then this is not even close. Like, he's boss tier sized. Like, it's not even a little bit close. So for me, that's a huge problem, because I don't care about this character outside of Marvel vs. Capcom. I'm wondering how many people do. So let's do a question of the day. How many of you want this guy to be big so that he's like in the comics, versus how many of you wanted him to be Marvel vs. Capcom size? Because that is for sure where I'm at. I could not care less about the comic version of this guy. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's talk about it. Is it actually any good? Well, if it's supposed to be the game version, it's not. So scale aside, the proportions are all off. His eye's too small, his legs are too long and skinny. It's just not even close to what it's supposed to look like in the game. It's not even a little bit right. So for me, it's a huge fail. Secondly, we have the sculpted middle part, which is still a softer piece. But it has a lot more wash on it, and it's a slightly different color plastic. I don't know if it's going to show up on camera. It's very close, and different plastics do weird things with the lighting and the photography, but this middle part is way darker than the legs, and that looks super weird. Don't care for that. I like that they got a lot of paint on it, relatively speaking. I mean, you can see the differences. It's basically just a wash going throughout. I don't know for sure. I don't think they actually painted this bright line. Like, each leg has that brighter spot. I don't think it's actually painted. I think it's just the absence of the darker paint. So they have the darker paint on these segments, and then the wash, which I think is the same paint. I'm almost positive it's all just one paint job, one color, one application, for all the textured areas. So it's fine. It doesn't look especially good. It looks all right. So that's whatever. I don't really care about that so much. If it was everything else it should be, that wouldn't bother me at all. Now, as far as the eye goes, you know, a lot of people I've heard say how great the eyeball is. Well, okay, first of all, this outer opening is a soft material. So it could be right up on those lids, and that would make it look way better, because as it is now, there's a pretty significant gap going all the way around to see those internal mechanisms for the eye, which makes it look like crap. This should be flush against here. This material is soft. It could easily just be right on there and it wouldn't affect posability at all, but they didn't make it do that. So it looks way worse than it had to, is my point. And people like to ask me, are your changes going to make the figure cost more if they were to implement them? And usually it's like, no, not really. So this would cost as much as the extra plastic would cost, which is like, what, a penny? So, no. They could have easily made this not have this giant gaping hole all the way around the eye. Like, it's closer up here, but not down here. And for the eye itself, it looks decent enough. The eyelids go up and down. If you use it, like this part here, the part that connects the two eyelids, it's only on one part. So if you actually close the eye, it doesn't look as good as it could. I don't think they put a whole lot of thought into it. And then the eye itself, like, we'll talk about articulation in a minute. But the eye itself, the paint job, if you want to call it that, it's not really a paint job, I guess. It's fuzzy. It's not just like it looks fuzzy because it's through the not as clear as it should be plastic, which is definitely a thing. So eyeballs have like this clear layer over them, technically speaking. And that's why they did this, and that makes sense. So the paint and the white and everything is on a separate layer on the inside, but the paint is fuzzy. And it's not a very good job, honestly. But then the thing that bothers me the most is when you actually turn it to the side, you can see that the eye isn't round. It's like a semicircle, or a hemisphere, I should say, and it's got flat sides. So from right here back, it's flat. It's just like cylindrical, and you can see the edge there. So, like, you don't have to look at that, of course, but I have to show you guys everything because this is a review. It definitely, you can see there, as I turn it, you can see where it goes from a sphere to a cylinder. That's what that invisible line is that you're seeing. So it's just not as good as it should be. I mean, that's the only thing this figure is. It's supposed to be tentacles and eyeballs. And it's there at, as usual, the bare minimum. They also, since it's an eyeball, the iris and the pupil should be concave. I don't think Hasbro paid any attention. Unless he's just like drawn that way and they made it accurate. I don't know. I didn't check every version of Shuma-Gorath. But an eyeball, the iris part, which is the red part here, the color part, is concave. And then the pupil is a hole. Like, they could have made this look so much better, like a real eyeball. Instead, they didn't do it at all. So for me, it's like half-assed, lazy, out of scale, not at all what I wanted it to be. And we'll talk about the rest of it in the articulation section. So 3 out of 10. It's not very good. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate for that. I don't care. So far, it just totally misses the mark. It's fine if you're just trying to fill spots. Don't get me wrong. If that's what you're doing and don't really want to have a discerning eye, that's your prerogative. But this is a review, and my job is to have a discerning eye. We have this, his little buddy, which is like his weapon, his attack thing in the game. Maybe it's in the comics. I don't know. It looks pretty good. Same issue with the eyeball, only it's obviously just not articulated or anything. It's well enough done. No real issues, but it's the same exact thing as the big guy, just smaller in terms of the aesthetic. And then he has a hole for a stand, which he does not come with. And I made sure I checked my box. It wasn't like taped to the side or anything like that. He doesn't come with the stand for the eyeball, which is just cheap as hell. You couldn't include one of your crappy polypropylene stands that are already cheap and garbagey. Lame. Accessory-wise, 1 out of 10. Now, as far as the articulate... Oh, I guess this is an aesthetic thing, too. He only has 2 different legs. There are 6 of them, but there are only 2 sculpts. 3 of them have the curvy end, and 3 of them have the wiggly end. Alright, so 3 and 3. Okay, so now for the articulation. You already saw the eye, but I'll go over it again just in case you're skipping around. So we have the eyelids that can work independently up and down. So you can open it all the way, bring it down, you can bring it up to achieve different looks, whatever you want to do. And then, of course, the eye itself goes side to side and up and down as well. So in terms of like functionality, they did a good enough job, but they just didn't go the full, what's it saying, the whole 9 yards? I don't know if that's how you use that saying. It's just not quite there. Now these little guys right here, which are hard plastic and will stab you, by the way. I didn't realize they were hard plastic when I first grabbed it and I poked myself. Those are hard plastic. Be careful, they'll probably break off and they don't look great. This one's pretty seamless. This one's not, this one's not, this one's really not. Like, they didn't even try to hide that sculpt, so that sucks. For the legs, they're all the same functionally, so I'm just going to do one of them to show you. They have the rotation, which is kind of ratcheted, so that's fine. And then you have the hinge, which is not really ratcheted. And it also doesn't look great, because the ball sits pretty proud. So when you bend it, it doesn't look like it's coming out naturally. It looks like a piece of articulation. And this part, it gets in the way and doesn't look as good as I would like it to look. The ball should be in there deeper, and this should be a softer material. So there's that, but you do get you get to do that. But one of the things that's a limiting factor on this guy, well, other than the fact that they didn't include the paint on the ball, so this differentiation between the dark green and the light green is even more obvious right here. You can't rotate this. It doesn't rotate. So if you want to bend it with this facing this way, but bend it down, you can't do it. So you're more limited than you need to be. Oh, he doesn't come apart? Okay. He doesn't easily come apart, so I can't take it off to show you, so I'll leave it on him to show you. The way it works is this is a hollow piece of softer plastic. It doesn't just have a wire in it. It feels like a skeleton. I would bet money it was metal. If it was any other company, if it's Hasbro, I'd guess it's plastic. I'm not going to take it apart to find out. But it feels like it has just ball sockets, like dumbbells basically, in series to make it work, because you end up not being able to pose it anywhere near as well as you would like, and you end up with flat spots. Now when you bend it this way, it's advantageous because it actually creases on the sculpted creases. So that's nice. But if you bend it another way, like let's say you want to bend it this way, you end up with garden hose pinching, and it looks cheap. Doesn't look very good. And it doesn't hold poses very well. It's not anywhere near as stiff as you would like it to be, and if I had a nickel every time I've heard that, I'd have, I don't know, $6. So it's just not very good at being what it is. It doesn't pose very well. I don't think being bigger as they made it, it was beneficial. I think if it was smaller and soft plastic with a hard wire in it, that would have been the way to go. Now the last thing that's really problematic is each of the legs has no articulation from like here forward. Where is it? It's somewhere in there. I don't know. I can't feel it. It's like right here. It's like the last 3 inches or so, 4 inches. It's just not articulated. So that's going to impede posability a ton. So his articulation kind of blows for being just a giant tentacle monster. You'd think he'd be able to pose really well, but it's a bitch to pose this thing. It's freaking annoying to handle. The way the legs are limited, like I can't just rotate this around the way I want to. I just want to spin it this way. I can't. I have to spin it this way and try to find, like, you can't get it where you want it. It's so annoying the way they did these to not have rotation in them. It's not a true ball hinge. It's a fixed joint. It's a swivel hinge. It's super annoying to handle that part. It's super annoying to pose this, the tentacles, with the pinching and the lack of actual posability. And then the paint job sucks. I'm just totally dissatisfied with this. It's not at all what it should have been. Why put all that effort into it? To make it too big, poorly painted, relatively well sculpted, and then poorly articulated. It's just, I don't get what they're going for here. You guys tell me what you think, but to me this is a huge miss. It's worse than Silver Samurai by a mile. Because this is all brand new stuff. Like every single part of this, they made purpose built for this. Why isn't it what it should be? That's so strange to me. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to quit there. I thought this was going to be a shorter video, but it ended up bothering me more than I thought it would. The more I handle it, the less I like it. That's what she said. Alright, so that's it. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos just about every single day. And thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.